You used to call me on my. You used to. Yeah. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. And I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing. Ever since I left the city, you
KBLA Talk 1580, 800-920-1580. It ain't my cell phone, but I'd love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. Look, this is where we would typically do Wealth Building Wednesday, so I want to give a shout out to something called Black Xmas. It is a piece of the work that Black Lives Matter does. And it is based on the idea that during this season, we need to spend our money to build black, buy black, and bank black. That means build black means invest in black-led, black-serving organizations. That means making a donation to a community-based organization, whether it's the Urban League or Black Lives Matter grassroots, or whether it might be, Students Deserve or the NAACP, just to spend some of your dollars, and some people do this as a gift for Xmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. This year I'm giving $1,000 in your name to BLM Grassroots, for example. Buy Black, obviously we know what that is. Whenever possible, you buy from Black-owned businesses. At least from Black Friday, which is a week from this Friday, through the new year, that you make a commitment to yourself to buy black whenever possible. And they say verified Black-owned, which I think is really important, because sometimes we can assume a business is Black-owned and then we find out it isn't. April Sims was on here talking the other day about how some of the Black hair care product companies have now been purchased. So they started out Black-owned and they've been taken over by larger brands. So you can go to blackxmas.org. They have a list of verified Black-owned businesses. You could call our friend Charles at 1-800-UNITE-US, or there are a number of different apps now that can tell you verified Black-owned businesses. Some try to front like they are when they're really not, and others have simply been sold. And then the third piece is Bank Black. So it's build black, buy black, bank black. Bank black means you move your money from big white-owned corporate banks to Black-owned banks. I don't want to be a hypocrite. All my money ain't in Black-owned banks, but at least some of it is. I remember J. Anthony Brown, the comedian, was like, well, I got some over here in this bank and some over here in the Black-owned bank. Whether you're able to put all of your dollars into a Black-owned bank or just some of them, this is how we build clout, how we build wealth. And so in honor of Wealth Building Wednesday, I want to uplift this campaign. It's Black Lives Matter grassroots that does this. You can go to blackxmas.org, and it doesn't matter whether you're celebrating Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, nothing at all. Maybe you're just celebrating the winter solstice or being alive and well. We can all be part of this pledge to build black, buy black, and bank black. And it also reminds me of my late friend, Muhammad Nazardine, who always talked about recycling black dollars year-round, and who, through the organization Recycling Black Dollars, used to do something called Change Banks Month. It was every April. He would encourage people to switch from a mainstream bank, white-owned or, corporate-owned bank, to a black bank like One United. And Broadway Federal is also still, I think it has a new name. I forget the new name of it. It's still Black-owned. Someone was asking me that. In fact, the reason it has a new name is because it merged with a bank back east so that they could stay solvent. And I want to give a shout out to Congresswoman Maxine Waters, because one of the things that she's done so effectively is advocate for black banks to have that funding that other banks get, so that they can stay in business. And she has been like a one-woman crusade to make that happen in her role on the Financial Services Committee. Okay, it's now called City First Bank and Broadway City First Bank and Broadway Financial Corp. Wait, is that the name of it? Yeah, it's now called City First. And so that's the old Broadway Federal, still black owned. So that's my wealth building Wednesday. I'm freestyling. We had someone, they fell out, but I'm freestyling because I think this is really important. And in memory of Muhammad Nasruddin, who fought hard his whole life, used to co-host with me sometimes on the front page, fought all of his life. And there are many others that take up this call, to recycle our dollars. And it's not against anyone else. It's meant to build us and our communities, make us stronger. When we talk about generational wealth, and yet our dollars leave our community faster than any other community, but we can change that. And it doesn't mean you can never buy something that's verified black owned. I don't, call me if you do know. I don't know a verified black owned gas station, for example, near me. Maybe I should call Charles at 1-800-UNITE-US. So I don't typically recycle dollars, black dollars, when it comes to gas. Maybe that'll change. But most other things, if I can find a way to do it, I will do it. Let's go to Kent calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Kent.
Hey, good morning, Dominique Prima. How are you this morning?
I'm blessed. How are you?
You are blessed, and I'm doing the same, ditto. Listen, I wanted to, if no one else, the KBLA delegation, everyone listening that can hear this, to give the mayor, Karen Brass, her flowers. I mean, it's almost impossible to manage this city. There's so much left over. There's so much. When I watch her, I just want to hug her. It's so much left over from decades and decades of neglect. People who are in positions just to make money, just greedy. Got enough, but just greedy. And she, I don't know if she gets her flowers enough, and I don't know if she can succeed, because there is so much, and she really wants to do a good job. And you can see it's so obvious, and I just feel for her. I mean, and I just want to give her flowers, and I want you to chime in and everybody to know that we really have a good mayor. We have a good mayor.
And it's a perfect time to have a good mayor, because as you can see, we just got one crisis after another. We're still digging out of the lockdown, and now we're dealing with a freeway. But the houseless, crisis that hasn't gone anywhere. So yeah, I think it's an important time to have a great mayor. I feel that she's already succeeded, not because she's fixed all of the problems, but because she has made changes and made progress in a timely manner. Will it fix everything? Will everything be perfect? Will we be happy with everything she does? No. But we've already seen a tremendous amount of progress and a kind of responsiveness that I don't believe, we've seen in many, many years in our city government.
Yes, you're exactly right. And I look and I think about the people who ran against her, and they're probably saying, wow, you don't hear much out of them. Because it's like, this job, it's just overwhelming.
I'm pretty sure they're scheming to run against her in 3 more years. I mean, but yeah.
Not scheming.
Well, I said it. Like, anytime you're willing to take $4 million from the police association to try to keep a sister out of office, that goes in the scheming category for me.
Yeah, but I just really wanted to say that, because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And consistently, the homeless, everything from just infrastructure to just chaos on a daily basis. And I see her all the time. I don't know if she ever has time just for her own life. And it just seems like a lot. And I wanted to say that. And I appreciate y'all letting me use your platform to put it out there. I have no connection with her, not any direct connection. It's just citizen telling it like it is.
Well, look, I could say I have a connection with her. It's because I sat on the board when she was the executive director of the Community Coalition for many years, worked with her on the Summer
Right.
of Success. But it's a working connection. You know, she's not my auntie, she's not my mama, she's not my sister. It's a working connection.
No.
And it's me having
No.
the benefit of watching her get stuff done while other people were busy talking.
Right. And I know that when she was at the state legislation and when she was with Congress, they had issues. But this city here, this is a monster. This is no joke.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would like to say to everyone, take your time when you're driving around the city. Don't be mad at each other. We all going through something. Everybody has issues. Everybody has family or neighbors or friends that are having issues. Just we're all in it together. Take your time. Be courteous. Just take consideration for other people around you.
Look,
And
Kent,
I'll
to
say that,
me,
you know.
if those three young ladies in Malibu being plowed down wasn't a wake up call for
Four.
everyone. Was it 4? Did I leave one out? Yeah, you're right. It was 4.
believe-
I think
Yeah.
it was 4. If that wasn't a wake up call, I don't know what will be. I mean, I feel like we have hit and run incidents in South LA and Southeast LA all the time, but they happen one here, one there, and they don't necessarily get the coverage. But if a person just killing people because they want to drive fast, a whole crowd of young college students, if that doesn't wake us up, I don't know what will. We need to slow the heck down. I'm talking to me too, because, you know, when you're late and you're in a hurry, you're not thinking about anybody else, but that's on us. We should have left earlier. We should, you know, accept, you know, the consequences of our actions, not endanger other people's lives.
Listen to me. You know, everyone who's listening to this, everybody, people have issues. So that's not your issue. So if somebody's in a hurry, let them go. Don't the road rage thing. You're gonna mess around, and be one click into being into a situation. There are people in the penitentiaries all over the country, all over the world, who had regular jobs, and regular people did regular things, and one moment of indiscretion and anger ruined your life.
Yeah, you're right.
Think
It was
about
four young women from Pepperdine University. One of them
I sometimes
African American,
act
but
like
all of them just lovely young women that did not deserve to die because you wanted to go fast.
absolutely. And then they made up that cover story. Is that a cover story that they made up, that somebody was chasing him? Was that,
Yeah, I did hear that. So you could say, I don't know if it's a cover story. That's what his attorneys are saying. And I don't have any further information other than what the attorney said, but he was arrested on suspicion of vehicular manslaughter. So I guess we'll find out in court.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if it was any validity to that story, I'm sure that it wouldn't. It would be front and center, and he wouldn't still be shackled up anyway. So, hey, I hope I helped fill some of your time. Tell Tavis and Miles, you're welcome. You're
hilarious.
Draw it out. Draw it out. I'm giving you some of my best stuff. I don't know what we're talking about. Africa.
You're hilarious, Ken.
John Bo.
Kent is too funny. Look, Kent did go with me to Africa. What year was that?
I think it was 18, 17 or
Yeah,
18.
yeah.
Tanzania, East
It was,
Africa.
yeah, so then it
And
was
I-
18. It was 18 because that's when we went to Tanzania. And we're going to Tanzania again this year. We're going to...
Really?
Yeah, we're going to Tanzania and we're going to go to Kenya, which I've never been to before. And we're having a meeting. We're having a Zoom meeting on Saturday. I'm glad you reminded me, Kent. So if you want to find out all the details, go to africanfocus.org and you can get the link for the Zoom. But yeah, it was fun traveling with you. You're crazy.
Thank you. I haven't changed much. If you have a couple of more minutes, I can say, everyone, close your eyes. Think about Africa. Think about Africa. It's not what, if you haven't been there, it's not what a lot of people think. We stayed at luxury establishments, some that would be on the same level as the NFL where the players stay and stuff.
And you know, because you worked for the NFL.
Yeah. So, Dar es Salaam. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong.
No, that was good.
The reserve we stayed on the Serengeti, the beautiful East African, the Indian Ocean. I'm just telling you guys, we volunteered one day for the Maasai tribe, and we met the king. I believe he was 105 years old. or 108 years old, and he had 5 wives. And I'll never forget. Remember when the news was following us out there?
Yep.
Dominique,
he had 50 kids and 200 grandkids.
Yeah, and he had like 8 wives. And then because we were the affluent African Americans from Southern California.
Yeah, we were news.
So remember that? And
I do.
And I went up to the king. Do you remember what I said to the king when they asked? I said, "Where were you? We waited for you to come and get us." He said, "My son, you've made it back. You've made it back."
That's what I mean by Kent is crazy. Talking like that to a king. The man, that man was like, I think 105, and his youngest child was like 8. Like, what?
Yeah.
Head explode. Not grandchild, child. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a trip. It was an amazing trip. Do you remember when we had dinner with the polygamous family with the man? Oh no, that was Senegal. My bad.
Yeah, I was going to say
you got me on the multiple wives thing. No, that was in Senegal. That was the year before. That was amazing though. Because they're allowed to have up to 4 wives and still be in compliance with the Muslim tradition there. But anyway, as they're trying to move to Senegal. But Kent, thank you for calling. Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Have a great week, and I'm always listening.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Tell a friend. We're continuing the conversation. Kent, call me at 800-920-1580, and you can do the same. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Just be natural. Try to roll around in it gracefully and not like a puppy.
Maria's photography studio is zooming into a flurry of projects.
Where did I put that memory card?
She needs an assistant to keep business in focus.
Hang on while I change the external flash. Oh,
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
This week at Target, you'll find different early Black Friday deals. Get fun deals on the latest tech, toys, and video games, plus smart deals on small appliances, floor care, and so much more. At Target, you'll discover different early Black Friday deals each week. And get what you need for the holidays fast with free drive-up or score free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. Get low prices and early Black Friday deals only at Target. Exclusions apply.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
I'll give you my quick top 5 stories of the morning, and then we will get to your phone calls, 800-920-1580. Well, the right-wingers are mad. The Republicans are mad at their own very conservative House Speaker Mike Johnson because his plan to fund the government for a short term till after the holidays in 2 steps, parts of it through January and parts of it into February, has passed and will likely pass the Senate, which means that we don't have to have our government shut down during the holidays, which is great. It also means we're probably going to be having another long, drawn-out search for a new speaker because Republicans are going to get him out of there. Israel says it's launched a targeted operation against Hamas this morning, and that is inside the biggest hospital there in Gaza, where thousands of Palestinians are sheltering, where patients are hanging on without electricity. Conditions at the Al-Shifa hospital, which has completely run out of fuel and is no longer considered operational, according to CNN. Doctors are saying those conditions are catastrophic. Worldwide pressure continuing there. President Biden met with Chinese leader Xi Jinping today for the first time in a year to talk. Well, they're hoping these talks will ease friction between the two superpowers. We shall see. Officials on both sides saying that, they're not expecting a lot to come out of this, but we shall see in the days ahead. They arrived in San Francisco yesterday to hold this meeting. And Atlanta prosecutor Fonnie Willis says that the racketeering case against the former president and 14 of his co-conspirators may drag on until early 2025, and that the proceedings will probably get underway right during election season, possibly right around the election. She told that to the Washington Post on yesterday. It'll be interesting and I think fascinating to see how this impacts the election. It's territory we have never, ever been on before as a nation. And so those are my top 5 for right now. There's a lot more going on, of course, but I want to get to your phone calls. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. 5.5. The British government seems to be even more jacked up than ours, with former Prime Minister David Cameron back in the government as a cabinet secretary. And their government to me looks like what ours would look like right now if only the Freedom Caucus were running things. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak of Britain could easily be part of the renegade pro-coup Freedom Caucus in our U.S. House of Representatives. Let's go to April calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, April.
Hi, Dominique. Good morning, and good morning, KBLA delegation and family. Dominique, I just wanted to piggyback and chime in on 3 things that I just heard earlier. One, the previous caller, when he talked about going to the continent, any country on the motherland, I encourage all of us that are able to go, and I am going to be on that Zoom meeting this Saturday because I've never traveled with you to the continent, and so I'm looking forward to being part of your group this coming year, going to, I think you said you're going to Kenya
and Tanzania.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to being a part of that. I also want to chime in on the job that our mayor is doing. She is, every time she looks up, there's like some big, huge, something she has to deal with, and I think she's doing an admirable job. So I wanted to give her some support and lift her up. And then most importantly, in terms of us supporting one another, the Black Lives Matter grassroots, the Black Xmas that's coming up, I wanted to encourage all of the listeners wherever we are, whether we're here, around the country, out of this country, to be supportive of each other in every way that we can.
April, hold that thought. We'll continue after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday. It's November 15th. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The House has passed a stopgap bill that will prevent a government shutdown. Tuesday, the House voted in favor of a Republican plan to fund some departments until mid-January and through the rest of early February at current spending levels. The bill now heads to the Senate, where it does have bipartisan support. 4 former Memphis, Tennessee police officers charged in the Tyree Nichols case have been given a court extension until January 8th. The extension was granted Tuesday after defense attorneys received a large amount of evidence to review last week. The 4 officers face second-degree murder charges in the death of the African-American man last January. The 5th officer accepted a plea deal earlier this month. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Get great deals all month long when you shop Black Friday every day at Lowe's. Get 25% off all artificial Christmas trees and tree decor. Valid through 11/15, tree decor includes ornaments, toppers, collars, and skirts. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man. The Lakers tied a team record last night with 22 three-pointers. They beat Memphis by 27 to win their third straight. LeBron recovered from his leg bruise. He had 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in 23 minutes. The Clippers played Denver tough last night before losing by 3. Their losing streak is now at 6, including 0-5 with James Harden. Harden had 21 points but was scoreless in the fourth quarter. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders expressed compassion for the 4 Beaumont High School students facing charges for burglarizing the Colorado locker room at the Rose Bowl on October 28th. Anonymous tips led Pasadena police to the students. 2 of the students are football players who are being recruited by UCLA. Deion wants the students to atone for what they did, but he doesn't want the incident to jeopardize their hopes for college. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with one of the panelists, the owner of Kids Love. Take a listen.
So Kids Love, KIDSLUV, is a first-to-market zero-sugar, vitamin-enhanced functional beverage for kids.
So the zero sugar is really important because if not, the sugar gets on the teeth, it can cause cavities. So as a mom, I love this vitamins and hydration in one. Tell us what's happening here with Chase Bank today.
So I would say, I think what Chase is trying to do is create a community actually for entrepreneurs, a place where people can go. They have the space to do it. It's a beautiful space. And to be able to have these conversations. There are so many benefits to being a women-owned and certified business from a standpoint of getting into stores, not paying the slotting fees of what it takes to be in stores. So I think Chase is trying to bring awareness to a lot of the things that people just don't know about, that not only the bank can help, but outside of the bank, their relationships can help create.
That's beautiful. And I know, this is how we build equity in communities of color, is kind of spreading that information and that knowledge. So thank you for being here today and doing your part and letting these women know that it is possible.
For KBLA 1580, I'm Maisha Cairo in the community with Chase.
Beloved Entertainment presents Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis, host of KBLA's Living in the Sweet Spot at the beautiful Miracle Theater, 226 South Market Street in Inglewood, Sunday, November 19th at 6 p.m. Join me, Tavis Smiley, and KBLA Talk 1580 for real short stories told live on stage by our own storytellers, straight from the neighborhood, celebrating our unique culture, our strengths, our courage, our faith, and of course, our fire. Come walk with us through the neighborhoods, sit at our kitchen tables, even run with us down our dark alleys if you dare. But just know that in the sweet spot, there is love and laughter, joy and pain, secrets never told. Again, that's Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis, Sunday, November 19th at the Miracle Theater, 226 South Market Street in Inglewood at 6 p.m. Tickets available at sweetspotlive.eventbrite.com. That's sweetspotlive.eventbrite.com. Sweet Spot Live, we've got a lot to talk about.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
And talking with April. April called me at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. You can too. My fault, April. I was just getting caught up in a conversation with you and lost track of the clock. But April reiterated that she's been to the motherland, but she encourages you to go. If you want to come with me, with KBLA, we'll be going in June, just like we did last year. You can tap into the Zoom, and you can get that link at africanfocus.org. April, you also gave props to the mayor. If you got problems, put a black woman in charge, and that's what we've done. And we do seem to have just an endless string of problems. And now you were talking about, I think you were getting into the recycling black dollars piece, which we did speak about with Kent, who called earlier.
Absolutely, Dominique, and also lifting up our dear brother, Muhammad Nasruddin, lifting him up, coining that phrase and really putting it out there for recycling black dollars. I have a smile in my heart right now just thinking about our dear, dear brother, missing him dearly, and in his spirit, I just wanted to also lift up our brother Charles. Dominique, Charles is your biggest supporter. He is your biggest avid cheering person on those sidelines, cheering you on. I know Charles is listening now. He has been dealing with a health challenge, and I wanted to let Charles know that his KBLA family loves him. His Earl's Grill family loves him. He is supports all those businesses along that Crenshaw corridor, particularly all the small businesses like mine, like the Crenshaw Juice Company, like the sister that sells the cocoa butter and shea butter inside Earl's Grill. And we just wanted to say, Charles, we love you, and we know you will be getting well soon, and we'll see you soon. So thank you so very much, Dominique.
Yes, Charles, lots of love to you. Godspeed in your healing, and our prayers and light and crazy talking smack energy. May it energize you to get better soon. And for our KBLA delegation all over the world and in other cities, April is talking about the Crenshaw corridor, which still remains one of the vital black business aisles, black business lanes here in Southern California. And so whatever your corridor is in your city, there's probably a juice company and a body butter company and Earl's Grill, which of course is a world famous vegan and other grill. And we lift those up because that's one way we can recycle our black dollars is, where do we eat? Where do we buy our beauty products? April's Life in a Bottle is April's business, which is delicious juice, cold press, handcrafted. You can find it April's Life in a Bottle, aprilslifeinabottle.com or org, or I don't know. But you just type in April's Life in a Bottle, but it's April with a Y, and you will find it. They have it at Earl's. So I think it's a great point, April, that we have to, we can support each other as businesses and also as humans. So get well soon, Charles.
Thank you so much, Dominique. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you as well. Okay, April. I was struggling there trying to get your website, but I'll find it. She's such a non-self promoter, but it's good juice. Let's go to Dee calling us from Long Beach.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm great.
I want to have a big tent conversation on abortion. I need to establish that a woman has a right to choose, first of all. However, she has a 50.1% vote. The potential father deserves prior notice.
What do you mean she has a 50.1% vote? You're saying because the child is in her body, she has more say than the man. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But it doesn't work that way at the ballot box, though, does it?
What do you mean?
She doesn't have women don't have a 50.1% vote about whether or not her right to have agency over her body is guaranteed by our Constitution or by her state or federal government.
Right. I mean, I agree there should be equal pay for equal work and all that stuff. I supported the Equal Rights Amendment when I was a kid.
Well, so what I'm not understanding is you're saying women do have that larger say-so because...
Yes.
Or they should or they shouldn't?
They should.
Okay, got it.
I mean, they have to give up the most to bring a baby to birth. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I do think that, this is a forever topic on social media, is how much say does a man have? And, I don't know that I have an easy formula for that, because I do think that it's not fair for a man not to have any say-so, but he also could have the ultimate say-so of making sure that she didn't get pregnant if he's not in the type of relationship with her that would, make him want to have a baby, or if he is in the type, but he knows she doesn't want a baby, or that there's health concerns, or that there are other kinds of family concerns. A lot of folks that terminate pregnancies already have 2 and 3 kids, and they just don't know how they're going to feed the ones they already have if they have another one, for example.
Right. I mean, I get that it's potentially lethal and they should have veto power, so to speak. But I also get that the women's suffrage movement, eugenics movement, was inherently racist, and one of the pillars of that was sterilization of black women.
Yeah, I wrote a whole paper on that in college for my professor at the time, who was Dr. Angela Davis, about the forced, about the forced sterilization of women, which is actually for black women or, Afro-Latinas, is worldwide. It wasn't even just here in the United States. It was like they were just trying to shut our reproduction.
Take everybody out.
Yeah, just kind of like, eugenics. I mean, really, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. And in parting, have you read Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston?
I haven't.
Okay, it's a great read.
I know I should. I know it's on my list. Well, give me your takeaway, because you brought it up.
I don't want to give it away, but she put an end to someone.
You just gave it away. You just gave it away. That was the most spoiling unspoiler I've ever heard. But for those of us who are this late, I mean, when was that book published? We deserve to have a spoiler if we waited this long to read the book, right?
Yeah. What about what looks like crazy on an ordinary day? That was on Oprah's book list.
No, didn't read that either. I must admit I've been really lagging when it comes to Oprah's book list. 1937, Their Eyes Were Watching God was published. If we haven't read it yet, we deserve Dee's spoiler. I appreciate always your thought-provoking conversation, Dee. I don't know how you have a big tent conversation about abortion, really. Okay, thank you, Dee. Appreciate you. We're going to Derek calling us from somewhere in Colorado. Hi, Derek.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Colorado. I want to ask you a question. I've been reading the newspapers, and I've been looking at the internet and everything. They keep on talking about this, maybe the war between this country and China or something like that, or Russia. And where I'm going to is, they're doing all this bombing in Hamas, and the Gaza and all this kind of stuff. And when a country has a war or anything else like that, are the people who are killed, are they just collateral damages as part of being war? Is this part of, you just want to win when you're doing a war? Just say they mentioned the West Coast where you guys live. Just say they dropped a bomb or a hypersonic thing on L.A. Would the people who live in L.A. or South Central, would they just be collateral damage? Would that just be part of the thing that people are doing as far as war? As far as civilians, because that's just part of war or anything. I'm just kind of to get people's feedback. That's all.
Those are the questions that we're wrestling with right now, right? It seems like we're always on the brink of war with Russia and China, and we are kind of in a proxy war with Russia right now in Ukraine, right?
Right.
Biden is meeting today with the Chinese president and hopefully ramping things down, but it feels like that, is it feels like a Cold War with China, to be honest. And when you're talking about the war, between Israel and Hamas, which, that feels like a limited way to describe it. It's really a war in the Middle East because you've got, all these other adjacent and interconnected conflicts, right, going on, Lebanon, Iran, et cetera, et cetera. That's the international question right now, because Israel says they have a right to defend themselves, and they do, as any sovereign nation does. But there are supposed to be international standards for what is considered just warfare. And many, including the UN, the United Nations, and I think it was 500 people in the U.S. government in various jobs that signed a letter yesterday, are saying I think we're up to 11,000 now, civilians, is too many. I don't know what too many is, but to me, that is the biggest, that's what the world has to reckon with right now. And that's why honestly, Derek, I don't understand how calling for a ceasefire could even be controversial when babies and children are being killed, who clearly, have no blame and no part in the attack of Hamas on Israel, or the ongoing, decades-long, occupation and war between Israel, Hamas, and even before there was a Hamas, a PLO, that conflict going all the way back to 1948. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique when we come forward.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
When breaking news happens, keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580.
So pleased to announce that the 43rd mayor of the city of Los Angeles is on the phone. Mayor Karen Bass, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Dominique?
Good. You must be incredibly swamped right now, and I appreciate you checking in. It's indefinitely what we're hearing, that the 10 freeway to be down?
Yes, that is the case. All of those travel apps, pay attention to those. As we get information, they've been uploaded right away. So those maps should be accurate. But we actually are trying to tell people people to stay on freeways, to follow the route, because our streets can't handle 300,000. Our streets would be parking lots. There is metro, there is public transportation, so they're increasing the frequency of trains and increasing the frequency of buses. So you can go to 511 and learn about metro. You can go to emergency.lacity.gov to learn about any information on the city. This is a time for all of us to stay together. We're trying every avenue possible. That's why it's so important that you reached out, Dominique. Always want to make sure that the KBLA audience is up to speed.
Mary Karen Bass, thank you so much. Godspeed.
All right, thank you.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
So Derek called me from Colorado, and he was pretty much asking about everything in the world. Well, everything in the what appears to be the hawkish world, right? China, Russia, Ukraine, in Gaza. Derek, when you were speaking on collateral damage, I assume this is fueled by what we're seeing in Gaza right now, which is absolutely heartbreaking, in which President Biden is getting a lot of pressure now to take a different position, not just from protesters on the ground here in the United States, but globally. What are you thinking? I mean, what are you feeling, thinking, believing when you're seeing this conversation? Derek, are you there? No, I guess we lost Derek. So I think, for me, I'm always going to be on the side of peace. I am what the old folks used to call a peacenik. And so when someone tells me it's controversial to cease fire, I cannot stand with that. I am against the killing of civilians, whether it be, on October 7th by Hamas, whether it be before October 7th by Israel or Hamas or Russia, and certainly now in Gaza. We can't stand by, the world can't stand by and allow the mass slaughter of children. That to me should not be controversial. The bombing of hospitals and UN schools where people are sheltering. It's not, for me, that's not controversial. I get that it is. And I know people were going in on Van Jones yesterday on the internets because of comments that he made at a pro-Israel rally. And I saw some folks put it really, really well. I can't remember who this is attributable to. That it's, of course, it's a noble and honorable thing to march against anti-Semitism and hate. The reason that folks had an issue with that pro-Israel rally, because it wasn't just about fighting anti-Semitism, it was about supporting the policies of the conservative far-right wing Benjamin Netanyahu-led Israeli government. And that's where the problem starts. And to me, that isn't anti-Semitism. And if you are practicing anti-Semitism because you don't agree with what Netanyahu does, then shame on you. But one of the things that accidentally, to me, I'm giving Van Jones the benefit of the doubt because as an activist, I don't think he'd say we need to stand against Muslims. He did say that and he didn't correct himself. But I believe he was nervous because the crowd was booing him because he called for a ceasefire. So when thousands and thousands of people start booing you, it can be a little intimidating. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But Twitter and Instagram are not giving him the benefit of the doubt. And he was already on shaky ground with his black card because of some of that crying and carrying on CNN and defending the 45th president, in different ways. Now, maybe Tavis will have him back on his show and he can talk about, what really happened. I say that because I believe they're friends. I'd love to have him on this show, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, although he certainly is invited. But the point is that at a certain point, you have to believe your own eyes, not a formula, not the news, not, even the world court. You have to believe your own eyes. And thousands of children and innocent civilians being slaughtered is just not okay. Listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Talk 1580. I'm over here getting distracted. That is not good. What is going on? Look, I know that there is a march today. That's actually what I was looking for. Typically every Wednesday, Black Lives Matter Los Angeles will have a protest to end police associations, or at least take them out of the House of Labor. And my understanding is that today they will be joining with a protest of the of LA Jews and allies at a mass action in support of a ceasefire. So they're diverting their Wednesday protest to be part of this. It's at Jewish Voice for Peace on Instagram, at Jewish Voice for Peace, or at JVPLA on Instagram. And it is a protest that is meant to support the idea of a ceasefire and end the killing of civilians that Derek was talking about, or that Derek got me talking about, I should say. So if you want to find out more about that, I suggest you go to BLMLA or Jewish Voice for Peace on Instagram. JVP.LA is the LA version of Jewish Voice for Peace, and you can find out more. It's going to be in Hollywood. They're urging Biden and urging Congress to call for an immediate ceasefire. And they say the U.S. has to stop arming, funding, and cheering on the Israeli government and their military, what they're calling a genocide of Palestinians. So this is going to be today at 2:30 in the afternoon in Hollywood at DeLongpre Park. It's at 2:30 p.m. and they're asking folks to wear all black. This is for Jewish people and their allies. And Black Lives Matter LA will be standing with them at that protest. Looking forward to the conversation next hour. We take a look at the black press, their important role, especially during times like these. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday. It's November 15th. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The House has passed a stopgap bill that will prevent a government shutdown. Tuesday, the House voted in favor of a Republican plan to fund some departments until mid-January and through the rest of early February at current spending levels. The